Okay, good morning, guys. Well, I thought I'd try and get out here while it's still a little bit cool and get a little bit done. We're in that 100-degree weather still. So anyway, I'm working on the flaperon brackets, and this is the left inboard flaperon I've got here, and it's all fitted to the fuselage. We've got the inner rib all fixed and everything. So, and I've already had these mounted, both of these mounted on the plane. So what I'm working on now is the flaperon actuator arms and everything. So in the original design, there's a big banana slot cut in the side of the fuselage, and this is the bracket that the prints show. So the way this would mount, it would mount right here, and this would be our pivot point. It mounts up on the end of the rib, of course. This is my added on here. But anyway, there's our pivot point there, if this was all inboard. And this is where we mount our rod, our upper flaperon rod too. So, and it would have one of these little fittings on it. And the prints call this out as it's this mount. I'll give you the number for it. It's on the prints anyway. So it would mount like this to that. And this is not drilled out, but it would mount there and be bolted on. And this would actuate our flaperons up and down. So what I've done is I'm working on it's the Frisbee Haas no slot flaperon setup. And this I downloaded years and years ago. I believe this was back in 2017 that I actually downloaded this. This is what was originally, you had this big slot going up and down right there. And this was originally done by Ben Haas on his 801, and now it's Frisbee Haas, Jim Frisbee. So I believe this drawing is on the Zenith forums, so you can find it there still. But anyway, the way this works is we've got our plate here, we've got a hole that goes through the fuselage right here, and this is our pivot. And this bracket, neither of these brackets are finished out. This still has to be trimmed to match contours and everything. But then this goes inside. Before it goes inside, you slide this in through the fuselage, attach your flaperon. Then this bearing, and this is the bearing, although the ones I've got ordered have got a nylon insert. They didn't have them in stock. That bolts to the inside of the skin. And then you've got your actuator arm that goes in here like this, and this will be shortened up and bent. And then there's a bolt that locks it in place down here on the end. So that's the way they look. This will be the one for the right. It's trimmed even less. But anyway, flaperon goes to this side, mounts to the flaperon. Fuselage is here, bearing on the inside, and then your actuator arm goes in here. So now this attaches to here. So instead of having to have a big slot where this slides up and down through that slot, it just goes here and it actuates your flaperon on the end. I hope I've explained that right. The only real reason I'm showing this is this conversion has been around for a long time. Like I say, I downloaded that in 2017. But there's not been anybody really showing how it's done. So, like I say, I've still got a lot of work to do to this. I'm going to go ahead, I'll mount it to the side of the fuselage because now I've got it somewhat mocked up inside for where our actuator rods and everything go. And I'll take you out so we can take a look at it, and then we'll see it when it's pretty well done. Okay, it doesn't matter if I'm out here in the morning or here in the afternoon. The sun's in my eyes one way or the other. It's really hard to see out here. So anyway, there's our flaperon bell crank installed. That's about where it sits. I will add a dog leg to it right in here just to tuck it in a little bit closer to the side of the fuselage, because we've got a little bit of space here. The way it is, we'll go ahead and shorten up this stud and we'll drill this for a cotter key. So I'm going to have to redo this rod anyway. This is actually a little bit short, I believe. I cut it to the dimensions shown in the prints, but when you do this conversion or with these fittings, why, I think it's a little bit too short. So that's okay, we'll use this rod elsewhere, but we'll add the dog leg to the bell crank there. I was a little bit concerned, it looked like the angle was way off with the rod coming up through there, but when I crawled underneath and look at the bell crank, it's flaperon bell cranks and everything, it's in the proper position, that's the way it's gonna sit. So everything actually looks really good. Now I've got the bell cranks and everything down below, they're all zip tied in position, so there's very little movement in it. But this will actuate the flaperons up and down. Just like that. Like I say, I've got very limited movement since I've got it, but it's a direct control on the flaperons themselves. So I like the conversion. It looks like it's going to be real clean. We've done away with that big banana slot, which would have been cut, you know, down through here like this on the side of the fuselage. Now, there's a cover that goes on over the side of this, and I will modify the cover that goes on each side, like has been done before, and we'll put an access hole in it. We'll just put an inspection port there and inspection cover on it, so that we can periodically check it. Although once it's there, other than an annual, why it'll never need to be checked, I don't think. So anyway, that's what the conversion looks like. All my crappy paint inside here, this was bomb canned 2 or 3 years ago, and it's been pressure washed several times since then. It just looks like crap, but this will all get stripped out and repainted when we're done. But anyway, that's the Haas conversion. I think it's a worthwhile upgrade. These bearings here, this I don't think it was very clear on the first clip of the video. These have got a cast iron insert in them. They make these with cast iron bronze and a nylon insert, and they're dirt cheap. These came from Aircraft Spruce. These were like under $2 a piece for the ones with the cast iron. And the only reason I got them is I want the nylon bushings in them, but they were out of stock. They're a special order thing. So I've got them ordered there on, you know, back order. I'll get them when I get them, but I can go ahead and fit everything up here. This, they're, like I say, they're dirt cheap. The cast iron was, I think, $1.98, $1.95, and if I remember right, why the nylon ones are less expensive than that. So anyway, that's what we've got. So hopefully you find that a little bit interesting. Comment suggestions, leave them in the comment section for me below, guys. And as always, thanks for taking the time to watch.